What's up, YouTube? So buying a suppressor is not just about buying the suppressor. Oftentimes overlooked is the mounting solution, because I think a lot of the time people talk about the actual performance of the suppressor, but the mounting solution is kind of left out. And it's like, is this the mounting solution that you would not only, want to use on a daily basis if you weren't shooting suppressed? And is it a durable mounting solution? So what I mean is, does the company, that makes the suppressor, like you are going to be married to their muzzle devices, does that company make a muzzle device that would suit you in a way that, you want to shoot? Is it something that you personally would use on a rifle? Because these are things that we have to think about when we're buying a suppressor, since you are going to be married to specific muzzle devices. Good example of this is like if I looked at a suppressor and I go on the company's website, and I see their muzzle devices, and they have all sorts of crazy like directional muzzle devices that like push the muzzle down. I'd be like, I don't want any part of that. I either want like a 3-prong flash hider. I would settle for, like a closed tine flash hider. I would even settle for a dual port brake out at times, but most of the time I just want a flash hider. In my experience, they perform a little bit better with suppressors, and that's kind of what I want to run on my guns. Nothing wrong with muzzle brakes, it's just I like running flash hiders. But if I went on the website and saw that, it's like I would not want to buy that can if I had to be stuck to that particular muzzle device that like I would not enjoy shooting. The other thing is like, how durable is the mounting solution on that muzzle device? A good example of this, I got one right here, is my first ever suppressor that I bought. It's a AAC SDN6, solid suppressor. Like the performance of it was decent, I guess, at this time period. It's pretty old, I'm dating myself right now. But the mounting solution was absolutely atrocious. Right? You've got this button here which disengages the little teeth on the inside. But the problem with this was when you wound it onto your muzzle device and you ratcheted it on, every time you'd hear this thing click on the teeth on the muzzle device, it's like you're wearing the teeth out on it. The other issue was like it would never lock up completely tight because the teeth never really fell into the correct spot. So it's like as you're shooting it, this thing is kind of moving around. A lot of the times as these teeth start to get worn out, like this thing just will back off as you're shooting. You could potentially have a muzzle or a baffle strike. So it's like decent can, really sucky mount. The muzzle devices themselves weren't that bad. Like their 3-prong wasn't too bad, but that thing would ring like crazy for whatever reason. Again, decent can, crappy muzzle devices, really crappy mounting solution. The other one that I think is pretty crappy, don't hate me for this, but the Dead Airs, like the Chemo mount. This is a Sandman K. This is hands down probably my least favorite can that I've ever purchased. It's probably the loudest thing I've ever heard for a suppressor. It's almost like it's like a Surefire Warden. It's like it doesn't really do anything, but the mounting solution is pretty horrible. This thing backs off. It no longer ratchets. Like the ratchet system in it is just completely worn out. That's one thing that I'm not a fan of in terms of ratchets. Like they typically eventually wear out. The ratchet system has worn out, and yes, I know I can get it replaced and all that jazz. I just assume not use this can. So this thing, like I don't even have a rifle with the muzzle device that this thing requires on them anymore. So it's like this thing just sits off to the side. I literally don't use it. Not a fan of their mounting solution at all. So it's like, if you were looking at one of their cans, it might be a decent can, but the mounting solution sucks. Next one we'll talk about is the Silencer Co. ASR mount. Now, I've seen people say that this mount is really bad, and they're like, hey, I have problems with it, backing off, etc. I will tell you that the only thing that you need to do is when you like twist this thing on, like give it a good like put some elbow grease into it, tighten it really hard, and then twist the locking collar. This will never come loose. I'd have zero issues out of the Silencer Co. ASR mounts. Like, they're totally fine by me. Zero issues. And like, this has been a super solid cam. This is a Silencer Co. Velos 556. The Velos is probably one of my favorite suppressors on the market, and one that I recommend pretty damn often. If you didn't like this mount, you can get a Reardon, crap, I forgot what they call it, but it essentially will make this a hub compatible suppressor. So this will be able, with the Reardon mount, you can mount it on any, Plan B muzzle device, which the Plan B muzzle device system, pretty freaking good. You've got basically, what do they call it? The taper, right? So like, you would just screw it down onto a taper and it locks on the taper. Zero issues with that. I've actually have one of those. It's a Otter Creek can with a Echo mount on it. So hub compatible if you want it to be. So the Velos 556 and the ASR mount, like, in my opinion, totally good to go. Now, if you looked at my guns, you would notice like a solid trend, and that would be the Surefire muzzle devices. The majority of my guns are going to have Surefire muzzle devices on them for several reasons. First one being is, like, I have quite a few Surefire suppressors. Second one being, I love these Surefire muzzle devices. Like, the Surefire muzzle devices are just the freaking GOAT. Like, they're the gold standard in muzzle devices. Like, they are what I would want to use, like their 3-prong or the 4-prong close time flash hider. That, like, those are the ones that I want to use personally if I don't have a suppressor on it. Cans lock up really tight on them. They're going to stay put. They're not going to back off. In my experience, and I've been running Surefire cans for quite a while. I don't know how many years I've had this thing, but I've had it a really long time. I've had the RC2, which I don't have here in front of me, for even longer, and I've had zero issues out of these Surefire mounting solutions. Nothing wears out on these, at least in my experience. So like, the Surefire mounting solutions, really good to go. You will see some people say, hey, sometimes the can gets stuck. That can happen. And if the can gets stuck, all you need to do is just basically unlatch the latch and then fire around through it, and it'll, jettison the can off of the end of the gun. One way to combat that is just, when you get done shooting, just spray some freaking gun scrubber on the muzzle device, hit it with a brush real quick, and it'll, like, knock all the carbon and shit off. Your can won't get stuck. That is literally a symptom of your muzzle device being dirty. So I'm a huge fan of the Surefire suppressors. The Surefire suppressors are going to have really great performance, and the muzzle devices are going to be really great. The other suppressors that I am definitely drawn to are ones that are hub compatible, like this B&T Print XH. The Print XH, awesome flow through can, reduced back pressure can. That is hub compatible. And you guessed it, I've got one of the Surefire hub mounts, so I can put it on any of my Surefire muzzle devices. So it's like, I think it's really good when companies come out with, hub compatible cans. This way you can decide what mount you want to use, because you will be tied to the muzzle devices. Last thing I'll say, if you're looking at a suppressor in the market for a suppressor, look at the cost of the muzzle devices. If you've got 5 rifles and you're looking to buy, one can for it, the muzzle devices could be a significant purchase for you. So look at the price of those. And to me, that's where the hub compatible suppressors definitely win. Like, if you threw an Echo mount on it, that would allow you to mount the suppressor to the Plan B mounts. Like, some of the Plan B mounts from, Liberty, for example, or Echo or Reardon, they're like $70. They're very inexpensive. The mount for them is very inexpensive, like the Echo mount. So you could be into those for really cheap if you wanted to be. So definitely don't overlook the suppressors that are hub compatible, because there's a lot of different mounting options and you could basically buy whatever you want. If you're unsure of what to get, just buy the Surefire. Like the Surefire suppressor, you legit can't go wrong with it. The muzzle devices are going to be great, and the Surefire cans are awesome. So that's what I got on silencer mounts. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below.